agricultural produce and host to oil and gas operations, Koko community appears to be a shadow of its old self as a result of the sealing of the Taurus depot for nearly 6 months. In the community, residents are protesting the shutdown of this depot, which they say has severely impacted local businesses and the economy. According to the protesters, following the closure of the depot, their means of livelihood has been affected.
As we speak, the vessel has an amount they pay to community. For 6 months, there's no money from the community. You can see shops locked up, no trucks here. We have children that are truck drivers. They are not working. As I'm talking to you, they are breaking our entry everywhere in Koko because of this their obnoxious act. So we are appealing to the government, President Ahmed Tinubu and the Minister for Petroleum Resources, those that are in charge, to come and open up this place so that Delta State governor should wade into this matter, because this thing is creating problem for us in the community.
At our terminal here, the workers, they say, should sit at home, no salary, because they are waiting for the investigation to finish. And once the investigation is not finished, all of them will be at home without no salary, and it does not good for the workers. Even same thing to Damara and Co and Greymark, it is not good. And we are saying they should eradicate poverty and to make sure that the youth are working. But now, see what the people are doing to us. Workers are sitting at home without no salary. It can even create depression among the family members, and which is not good.
The depot was locked up when a team from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority discovered that about 9 out of the 20 million litres of PMS in a cargo was loaded with water. They appealed to President Tinubu to step in so this does not push the people out of business and into criminality.
I want to beg our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, make he help us stop for this matter. The hungry don't too much. Make the people open this Taurus for us. I beg a day, we just hear you. Hunger they kill us so.
Let them help us open this Taurus. Even though they want make they carry the vehicle go. May they open Taurus and Damara and Greymark. May they help us open it. Hunger are killing all of us here. Here we come to Hustle. We are from now. We come from some people from Meduguri, Katsina. All of us will come to Hustle for here.
For 6 months, investigations have been ongoing without any word from the authorities, with marketers facing financial losses. They are asking the government to consider their plight and restore their livelihood.
All right, so Mr. Chinedu Ogbena joins us here. He is a cargo inspector and marine surveyor. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, Kayla.
We've seen that report, and this is a matter that's gotten the attention of the ministry, by virtue of the minister. So give us a little more background. How did this start in the first place?
The vessel MT Austria arrived at Taurus to discharge cargo, and after the discharge they found out that about 9 million plus
for the day
the depot owners and their dippers, because upon intermittent inspections of cargo, they found out that there was water in the tank, and they called for a stop in the discharge. So they also promptly alerted the cargo owner, which is NNPC Retail, and told them about what they discovered. And from there, further inspections went on. I think they also summoned independent cargo inspection companies to come in and ascertain where the problem is coming from. So till today, there has not been a clear resolution as to where the water came from. But every of the cargo inspection companies that came pointed to the fact that there could be only one direction where that water is coming from, which they all say is from the ship.
I need to understand that. So there's a leakage.
No, it's not a leakage.
How did the water get into the PMS from the ship?
Okay, this is where the problem is. It's not a common occurrence. but this one beats everybody. The vessel arrived with cargo 20 point something million liters. Yeah. They discharged into one tank. First tank one. Tank one is clean cargo, no water, nothing.
In tank one?
Yes. Then they commenced into tank 6. And I take you through the process of even this operation. Okay. When a vessel comes, the surveyors, which are the marine cargo inspection companies, they go into the ship, take an initial measurement.
No, let's not start from there.
Okay.
Let's go back to when MT Austria received the PMS.
Yes.
So let's start from there. Where did they get it from? Because we can't start it from.
Yeah, they received the product offshore Lagos.
Okay. Offshore Lagos?
Yes.
Okay.
And you know, because of the contract of carriage, it is between NNPC and the owners of the vessel. Taros is taking up this product as per storage on a throughput contract. So Taros' responsibility commences when this cargo enters their tank. So the vessel got into Taros jetty at Koko, and preliminary inspections were done. Everybody checked for cargo, checked for water. They also went to the depot. They would check the initial dips, which is to check whether there is product in the tank, also check whether there is water, and they will seal the tanks. There is one line that leads between the vessel and the depot. And that line, the vessel will connect a hose to its own manifold. So it is that line that they discharge the cargo from the vessel to the storage tank at Taros. So when this cargo gets into that place, upon completion, they will now measure what the quantity is at the other end, which is now Taros. So while they were discharging, there is a standard operation that happens in the oil industry. There is intermittent check to forestall overflow of cargo, because if you don't check, sometimes you exceed your level and the cargo will spill off. So they do these things to ensure that cargo do not spill off, and to also see that the cargo that is coming into the storage tank is at least at par with what is being discharged from the vessel. So while they were doing this practice, they now observed that when they brought out their tape, they saw the water dripping off the tape. They now called for a stop.
At what point did they discover this?
They finished cargo discharging to tank 1, then switched over to tank 6.
Okay, so you have 1, 6.
They discharged the tanks that were nominated were 2 tanks.
1 and 6?
1 and 6. 6 has clean cargo. No problem with 6.
It's 1 that has water in it.
1 has clean cargo.
Yeah. Okay.
But 6 is where we have water now.
Okay.
So from where the water came from, the ship has not been able to explain to us till today, because the ship came with full cargo, as they said.
So when they discharged into 1, was it from the same product? No compartmentalization of all of those? The same vessel?
The same vessel, but they have different tanks on the vessel.
Okay.
I think about 10 tanks on that vessel. Okay. So they will discharge
different tanks
while they are maintaining the stability of the vessel. So they pick the tanks they discharge from, and as they are discharging, they are also trying to see that the vessel is balanced. So they finish the one for tank 1, The tank was dipped, no problem. They now switched over to tank 6.
So, how many of those did they discover? Was it just while they were trying to enter tank 6? Did they check the entire vessel to see the quantity of water? How did they determine that?
See, that's where the problem is, because under our local operation here, the vessel was not supposed to be discharging and taking ballast. Ballast is the water they are using to balance a vessel. So this is called a simultaneous operation. And it gives room for contamination. Because while you are taking in that water, you are likely to have a commingling that will contaminate the product at the other end or even in your own vessel. So they started a process of picking water, taking ballast, and that is a possible source of where that water came in. And I think, without missing words, that is more likely where that water has come from.
What's the standard practice when this happens? What happens next?
They were supposed to even inform, if they want to take ballast by any means during that this thing.
That's the vessel owners?
The vessel operators. If they wanted to take in ballast, they would have called for the team involved in that inspection. Everybody would be there so that they monitor and see that this water is not going into any tank.
Okay, so we're seeing where the balls started dropping.
Yes.
I want to be able to find out, at the time when I said you, at the time when this was discovered, of course, we shut down the place, investigations have to begin. At this point in the investigations, what has been said by NNPCL or by the ship operators, by any of the parties involved? What's been said right now? Because what we're seeing is that the economy of that place is being affected.
Seriously.
Now, it's only natural that those who survive off of this economy, of that jetty, would of course cry out. Their lives are in danger right now. But the solution, though, has to come up first. I'm guessing that's what the issue is. Yeah. So what has been said by any of the parties involved as of today?
From the regulator themselves, they quickly shut down the depot, which is a travesty because the depot actually alerted everybody to this huge fraud, I will call it. Because if it were issue of just only water, we would be seeing the cargo in another area of the tank. But for some reason, the water came in and there was no cargo to be traced anywhere.
The basically just filled. Yes, the basically just filled the top of water.
Wait. Let me try and follow this conversation as carefully as I can. Because when you say it's fraud, and then they were taking ballast, water could commingle while discharging. So, are you suggesting then that when they discharged tank 1, this vessel didn't have enough of PMS, and then they took in ballast to give the impression that there was confusion, and then they contaminated the PMS products, or they didn't come with enough PMS, or what exactly?
From what I gathered, products were dipped on arrival. They got a figure. That figure shows 20 point something million liters of PMS. And the inspectors themselves are not the ones that go and take samples for that product. So they did...
Who takes samples?
There are chemists that comes to pick samples from that place and go and analyze. So
why can't inspectors be with the chemists at the same time, so everybody's on the same page?
They come. Everybody has his own duty.
Okay.
So they pick the samples and went for analysis. But the surveyors now started. There's what they call a UTI. It's used for the measurement of cargo. When it hits product, it makes a sound. If it hits water,
give it a sound.
It gives another sound. So I assume, because I can't also phantom why everybody will measure, because that measurement will include the regulator, which is NMDPRA. It will include a member of the DSS on ground, that place. It will include the cargo owner representative. It will include the ship owner bringing in a surveyor. These people are all there on ground. So it beats my imagination how that measurement will be done and complete cargo is seen on board. The only explanation I can give to that is that there is a deliberate, because that UTI has a switch. If you switch to the liquid mode, it starts detecting water. And some of them, after some time, the operators of that thing, they can jam it. Or when they switch it off, you assume that you are checking for water. But if there is no sound, the inspectors will not record water because there is no sound. Because that could only be the explanation. Because they all recorded nil water. And there cannot be 10 million, 9 million plus water in a tank. And you won't detect using the UTI.
So, when this, because everybody assumes, layman,
yeah,
if you're bringing in a product to the country, there certainly will be certification from origin to ensure that this is in there. Don't they pass it down to the authorities here who will then ascertain and certify that, yes, okay, we received your document, it's coming through. After which, when it comes there, you then do your checks. Did that happen, or no, when you just come in, that's when you do your checks?
No. There will be a history. This now, I'll be speaking as just a professional in the field.
Yeah.
There is a certificate of origin that is issued after loading. It tells where that cargo is coming from and everything. There's a cargo manifest that comes in. So, and as you know, those things, this cargo is for NMPC retail. If it were Taros cargo, for example, Taros would have gotten those information on the first hand. They'll be having those documents. And of course, from what I gathered, this cargo wasn't supposed to come to Taros anyway. It was a last minute diversion. Because normally they have about 2 weeks heads up.
How many days heads up did Taros have?
I think this is less than 2 days or a day. Even the whole depot operation, from my investigation, we're not even aware there was going to be a cargo coming to their depot.
Why do you think that was the case?
I don't know. Maybe it was from them. It was a last minute this thing. But the whole issue is that where is the cargo that got displaced with this water? If water gets into the tank, there should be a source where the water is coming from. And that product that was displaced by water should be somewhere.
So Taros didn't see this.
So there's no cargo.
There's no cargo didn't get to.
Just water.
Water. And
wow,
Taros depot was properly sealed. Because when the vessel comes, the inspectors from the shipper or the owners of the cargo has an inspector that comes in. They will check your storage tanks, check everything, check for quantity if you have any quantity there. They check for water if they have, so that they know that if they put their own product there, they can just minus the total volume from the old one, and they know which is their own volume. But these seals were still there. before and after. One line leading to the vessel, the hose connecting the vessel, and water came into those tanks. I heard some people talk about the possibilities of water coming from the depot. I say that's just a flimsy argument, because the pumps in a depot cannot deliver that volume of liquid in 4 days, in 5 days. If they were pumping,
you're convinced this is fraud.
It's fraud. It's fraud. There's no doubt about it.
What happens next? Because that's where this is where we are.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Under the contract, the law of carriage, the contract of carriage, you have custody transfer at the heart of it. The ship responsibility for discharging this product ends where the consignee, which is NNPC, has told them this is where I want my cargo to enter. And that place is Taros Depot. Taros Depot has received product that has water. And I think Taros, by virtue of their own contract of storage, if they minus the cargo they have from the water, that is what NNPC pays them as cargo they have to store. Taros contract starts from that point. So it beats my imagination when I heard that Taros was shut down. Taros is not cargo owner. Taros is not the carrier of the product. And the place was shut down.
So not that Taros was not prepared, since they had 2 days notice, which is contrary to the standard operating procedure.
Yes, Taros has more than enough capacity to carry even another of that quantity. The capacity is not a problem. How the vessel managed to start pumping water and displace this product.
Okay, so we're wrapping up. For you,
yeah,
what do you think are the issues to be determined here?
The issues to be determined here is that is to determine where the water came from, which I think there's a lot of work that has gone into that.
By who? Taros or the consignee?
I see that 3 inspection companies were engaged.
Okay.
And they've started looking at the source of water. And I think those reports are out, if I'm not mistaken.
They were engaged by the NNDPRA?
NNPC engaged some, which is the owner of the cargo.
Okay.
And of course, Taros doing their own due diligence would have engaged some other of them. So
that's one issue.
That's one issue to be determined. The other issue is to ask the vessel, how come they were discharging and taking in ballast at the same time?
You think it was deliberate?
It's deliberate. If they had to do that, they had to call all the teams involved in that inspection before they could start anything like that. I know it helps them for their turnaround time, but in normal operation, it's a breach. You don't do that because it could lead to contamination. And in this case, we now had water coming into those tanks.
So 2 issues.
2 issues. Number 3, I think the issue concerning the closure of the depot should be looked at again, because even the enabling laws creating the NMDPRO, which is the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021, gives guidelines. And those guidelines outlines the powers and the responsibilities of NNDPRA. And one of those responsibilities is to promote business in the industry. I don't see why shutting down of a depot for 6 months constitutes promotion of business. Taros in itself and the other 4 depots that are affected, mind you, it's not just Taros, because immediately you block that jetty, you cut out 4 depots from operation. So 4 of those depots, no ones are going to be having cargo. And the combined total of their capacity could be exceeding 150 million liters of product. And so, that is what is being shortage in the market.
So if this were the case, does that then mean that from, irrespective of the manifest from the origin, it is actually possible for them to come in with this kind of product and that they certify from origin that it has appropriate products?
I don't want to go into conjecture, but I know even if they load clean products from source, because that vessel did not come straight up.
Oh, there were diversions?
It could have been diverted. I don't want to say, and if they came in with it, I don't know whether these inspectors have access to the double bottom tanks of those that vessel. Because if the product actually came in there are 2 ways the product could leave. Either this bunkering people come around and the vessel after this problem, because now the attention has been off the vessel, they could be dispensing those products to those smaller vessels, or it's still in the double bottom tank, which nobody have access to now because it's a PMS. You can't enter those void spaces now to assess them.
Well, let's not forget, in this same country, guys, we've had bad products come into this country, which was supposed to have been investigated some years ago. I think I lost it. Was there any report?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So, Captain Chinedu Ogbena is a marine inspector, marine surveyor and cargo inspector. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
Yeah, Labour has embarked on their strike. As a matter of fact, ASU have also put up a statement saying that their affiliate union and their zonal coordinators should go ahead and join the strike. So ASU has also joined this strike, and you know the implications of that. Well, there you go. That is the show today. We do thank you all for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Who knows if the strike will be over, but can only hope. I'm Chamberlain, so goodbye.
Have a great day ahead. Stay safe. Don't let anything get you down. I know that for many people right now, they're wondering what is going to happen, but take it easy, all right? Just take it easy, stay safe, and try to have a great week ahead. I'm Kayla Magwa.